Welcome to That Though podcast. I'm your host, Danielle McPherson.
And I'm your host, Lilly Carr.
Our episodes are brought to you by Rose Hill Library, and today's guest is Nurse Emily. Before we have her join us, make sure you follow Rocket Productions on Instagram and Facebook. If you have missed any episodes, you can find the Rocket Productions Network anywhere you listen to podcasts. So, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. How are you girls?
Good. We're good, yeah. So, today we're going to talk about you being a nurse at Rose Hill, and then a little bit about prom, and then we have a fun new segment at the very end that's just going to be a couple would you rather questions.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, let's get started. Okay. So, how long have you been a nurse at Rose Hill?
I have been a nurse for almost 20 years. In May, it'll be 20 years since I graduated.
And was that all at Rose Hill?
In Rose Hill. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're all good.
Not that many years here in Rose Hill. This is the start of my third year as the high school nurse.
All right. Where were you before here?
Right before here, I worked at Founders Surgery Center. I worked in the operating room for many years, and then right before I transitioned here, I was the operating room manager.
Why did you decide to become a nurse?
I decided to become a nurse when my grandma got really sick. I always liked healthcare, and I kind of changed around whether I was going to be what's called a physician assistant. Actually, right before I changed to nursing, I was on a pre-med track. My grandma got really sick when we were in the hospital with her, and it was the nurses who were in there taking care of her the majority of the day. The doctors were great, but they'd come in the morning and give us an update on her for about 20 minutes, make sure we were okay, and then they'd go about their day, but the nurses were there at the bedside taking care of my grandma each day, and that's when I decided that's what I wanted to do.
Where did you go to college, or like what kind of schooling have you done?
So I graduated from Wichita State University. I have a bachelor's in science of nursing. So I'm a registered nurse, so then I passed my boards to become a registered nurse. And you don't always have to have a bachelor's degree. You can have an associate's degree in nursing as well.
Why did you decide to become a nurse at Rose Hill?
So my youngest is now a first grader, but he was starting pre-K when I came back here. Where I went before, it was very busy. There was a certain amount of time you could have off and a certain amount of people that could be off. So it was more of a rigid schedule. And being here as the school nurse has really flexed my time to be able to be with my family. And knowing that I was going to have a pre-K through a senior again, I really wanted to get back into the community and start knowing the students and the parents again. And I've definitely had that opportunity.
Great. What does your day-to-day look like?
Most of my day is passing out medicine. We have a lot of ibuprofen. So that's the majority of it. What I also handle is any doctor's notes. When we have sports injuries, I let our teachers know if there's any accommodations that need to be met, or if a kid has something going on and they're not feeling well or a chronic problem. I let the teachers know that. At the beginning of the year, anybody that has medical conditions that could affect them, the teachers are all made aware of that, and I let them know what would be needed for that student if they'd start to have any problems in their class.
Cool. We will be right back with Nurse Emily after this commercial.
The Rose Hill Library started out as a community library at the school. The hours are 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and they're closed on Fridays and Sundays. They have nearly 10,000 items to check out, and all you need is the library card. They also have story time on Mondays at 10 a.m., and during the summer, they host summer reading programs. The library can also fax and scan documents to flash drive and make copies for you. You can contact them at 316-776-3013.
Barron Concrete has been working locally and commercially in the Rose Hill area since 1980. They've been a part of major projects in the Rose Hill and Wichita area that have helped shape the community we know of today. If you have any questions, please contact them. They are open Monday through Friday. You can reach them on their website at barronconcrete.com or 316-618-6087.
We're back with Nurse Emily on the At Though podcast. So we had, I don't know how many weeks ago it was, that we had the
Junior prom meeting thing.
I guess that's what you would call it. It was just like a meeting. Okay. So how did you become head of the prom committee?
Mr. Lina asked me. Yeah, it was when the former nurse, Terry, and I were meeting before I started my job here, and I was doing some training in the office, and he basically came in and sat down and asked, well, what else would you like to be involved in? And I said, well, I don't know. What's there to do? And he said, well, I need a junior prom sponsor. And Nurse Terry, she really talked it up. Said it was a great way to meet the kids, kind of get you involved in a different way other than just being in the nursing office. And then this will be my 3rd year as the prom sponsor.
What are your responsibilities as the head of the committee?
It is more than I thought it would be when I very first took it, but it's great. So basically, I work with the junior class each year, so that's always the main thing is getting together with the kids, and we have to do the fundraising. Juniors are responsible for the cost of prom. And then from there, we get the venue, which is decided with the Ville pretty much each year. It's convenient, it's close, it is pretty, and usually always available to us. Then from there, I work with the different people that come in, our DJ, if we have a photo booth, we have catering, and so I talk and set up with all that with the different sponsors. And then I'm there the night of prom. I have to get the extra chaperones for prom. I get parents involved with the valet parking. So it's basically I do it all.
Yeah.
You're there for
With
all
the
of
help,
it.
with some help, but it's a lot. It is, it's a big event each year. It's
Yeah.
planning a big event each year, but it's a lot of fun.
So what kind of help do you have? Like, do you have specific parents that always come back or like teachers that help?
The administration is always there for me. So with our new principal, Mr. Jackson, he's been there as the vice principal, but now he'll be in there as the principal. Mr. Welch will be there. Mr. Linus there. Miss Martin has always come. I've had one of my dear friends that her daughter just graduated, so I don't know if she'll come back and help me, but I know she would if I wanted to. And then from there, it's parent volunteers. I try and keep parents from chaperoning just because I want kids to have the night that they want to have, and it does change your night of prom if you feel your mom or dad are in the room watching you. Not that kids do anything bad, but it's your guys' night. So that's kind of the majority of it.
Okay. What fundraisers are coming up in the future? Or well, what did you call the one that we just did?
So the one we just did was with Red Wheel.
Okay.
It's a local place. It's food products and a few paper type products. Most of the people in Rose Hill know the Red Wheel brand just because it's a frequent fundraiser. So it usually does well when people know that the food that they're going to get is going to taste okay. So that's the one I kick off with every year and try and get all the juniors involved in. We did a great job. We sold 92 items, so that was 30 more items, I believe, than last year. So we did really well. And then from there, we'll do another meeting and start deciding out the other details that we want to do.
So with that comparison from this year to last year, what kind of stuff was in last year's prom that like, because I know that me as a junior, I want this prom to be good to kind of set an example for next year's juniors to also make our senior prom good. Because like that's like such a big fear though, is like that our class is going to put something in or like the senior classes put something in and then it's just not going to be reciprocated.
Yeah. So the DJ, I'm always up for any input on the DJ, which I heard that the homecoming DJ was a big hit.
Everybody wants
Everyone
her
was
back.
saying that.
So that's great insight, and so I'm going to reach out for her. The first year, I had a photo booth where they actually printed the photos off, like what you get at the zoo, you know, the little photo strip. Last year, it was all digital, so I'd like to get some input on what type of photo booth, if we want the photo booth. We always have catering from the Truly Amazing Catering, and that kind of switches up each year. Everybody loves the chocolate-covered strawberries. They're always the first ones to go, but we usually do cookies, mini cheesecakes. It's definitely more sweeter things because most of the kids have already eaten prior to prom. And then from there, it's kind of the decision that the juniors want to make. If there's some cool, different idea, I'm always up for it.
So what kind of stuff is coming up in the future? Like I know you mentioned before we started the podcast about like a taco bar, but what other stuff do we have to like look forward to?
I try and get a concession stand. I really would like to do some of those because it's good to help support the other clubs. There's a Chipotle night that we'll schedule where it'll be in Derby, just to eat out on Chipotle night. You said the walking taco bar would be something new that I haven't done. A bake sale is usually a good hit. And then from there, like I said, it kind of depends on what the juniors want to do because it's their involvement as well to help pull off these. So the more the juniors want to do, the more things we're going to do.
I was really surprised though when you said that we had more items than the seniors did last year. Cause like, I don't know, I feel like it got told, but maybe it was parent and stuff being like, cause I know we have
I
a
will
lot of
say,
parents that
number
did
one
stuff.
seller was Regan Tran. She came through for the class, so she definitely has a free prom ticket because her fundraising sells for over $400.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
so it's funny how it's just the simplest things like that
Yeah.
can set things apart. But like I said, there's plenty of time this year for everybody to be involved in various ways.
Cause I was like, I feel like it would just make that night, it might be stressful a little bit, like trying to fundraise and do that stuff, but it's just gonna make that night so much better if like you go and you're just surprised by how cool it was to set up and how like how much effort you put into it. Cause I know that's definitely what I want. Yeah.
What else are you like looking for the juniors like to be doing up until prom? Like,
Well, we'll have our meetings, and it doesn't mean that everyone has to come to every meeting. The next meeting will be the one that decides the theme, because we want to kind of get going on that and start looking at decorations and discussing decorations. And then each meeting, we kind of just decide where we're going to from there. It's deciding which fundraiser we want to do next, who all will be available to work it or be involved in, or what contributions would be available. And then it does take sometimes then the juniors going home and asking the parents too, which usually we have awesome turnout for that too.
Yeah. So with the theme, what were the past 3 years?
So the first year, I really loved it because it was a song that was very popular. It was Something in the Orange.
yeah.
And to me, whenever I hear songs from my high school days or when I was younger, I can always think back to exactly what I was doing, you know, that year and things. So I really love the idea of songs. But the next year they went with Rapunzel, which isn't a song, but we kind of tied it into the song theme. And that fit really, really well with the way the Ville looks like on the inside.
it does.
So the decorations were really cool last year. We had lanterns. Each year we decide on a photo backdrop area where everybody can get up on stage and they can take their pictures and selfies and everything. So that's always fun that the theme coordinates with whatever the backdrop is.
And I know it's a basic idea, but I keep telling people I want to do a winter wonderland. Like, I think that would just be so cool. And I know it's basic, and I know everybody does it, but I feel like that would just be so fun and easy.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be basic, though. I mean, we're kind of limited on some of the decorating that we can do, as in we can't put things on the walls there because of the way that they're painted at the Ville. But there's lots of options, you know, where the standing, like if we brought in Christmas trees, you know, everything could be decorated with Christmas lights. It'd be fun. I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
I really just want to hear like what our class has to do, because I feel like honestly we have some really creative people that would just like say some. It might be like some crazy stuff.
Some crazy ones, but
crazy stuff. But like I definitely feel like the ideas would be
Yeah.
A lot of people have thrown around The Great Gatsby, which I haven't done that yet, but the very glamoury, glitzy.
the snowball theme is like kind of close to that.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it's
And that's
like-
why sometimes I wait to see what Snowball's doing.
The
Yeah.
snowball is like we were going between like The Great Gatsby and The Roaring Twenties.
Oh,
but like
So it's like the gold and
yeah,
black.
but like we're
and-
tying it in together, which I know I hear a lot about Great Gatsby though. But there are some cool dresses. Like I don't know, but Dillard's like it has like a whole bunch of gold and black dresses now, and like they do this weird theme. But it's I don't know. It would be cool. I just want to know. I want to get it done.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know the theme
first.
already.
Yeah, it'll be the first Wednesday of November, as long as there's not another. I kind of have to make sure there's no other meetings that are going to tie up the juniors, and then sometimes it's tough. with the juniors because people have different college release times or internships that they're doing. So that's the only thing that I hate is that people feel like they're not there for the meeting, but anybody at any time can pop in and email me or just tell me in my office, because I'll start writing down all the different themes so that way that people have an idea of what's already been mentioned, and then we can discuss whatever else at the meeting.
Okay. So that was all the questions that we had for you, but we have 3 unrelated would you rather questions.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Would you rather go to the beach or the mountains?
Mountains.
Mountains, why?
I love everything about the mountains. I'm one of those people, I don't mind snow, because there's always, the mountains are beautiful.
Yeah.
And then it's a nice break from Kansas heat when you go there during the summer,
absolutely.
and you can do whatever you want outside without sweating buckets. So I'm definitely a mountain person.
Okay.
Would you rather go to an amusement park or a water park?
Neither.
Neither? You don't like either?
Neither of them?
I'm not, well, maybe an amusement park, but nothing that twist. Like if you took me on roller coasters, I'd be okay with it. But
Okay.
and if you took me to the water park, I'd just be a
Sun.
Yeah, I would just be, so that I could do. But
I feel like water parks are so fun though, like when you go on the tubes and you just
I'm a germaphobe. So the idea of all those people in
that-
the water.
Okay. Maybe that was a bad question. We are bad. Would you rather be 8 feet tall or 4 feet tall?
8. I'll take the height
8?
over
You'll
being
take the
short.
height?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Long legs.
Long legs. Well, that was all. Thank you so much for talking
Thank
to
you.
us.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And thank you for watching That Though podcast. If you missed any episodes, you can find them wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you follow Rocket Productions on Instagram and Facebook. I'm your host, Danielle McPherson.
And I'm your host, Lilly Carr.